What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Attack Semi-Blind, Full Blind. I'm the blind, he's the semi.
Where we not talk about tack at all.
We're not talking about Attack at all. I'm semi. Oh, I died. How do I start every episode like this?
So we were talking about Metroid Prime last week, or 4 seconds ago.
It's been seconds.
And I was mentioning
bastards.
how I couldn't save because I used too many missiles because I was using super missiles as opposed to just regular missiles for the icicles.
You should probably go back and reiterate. It's been a week for these poor, lovely people.
That's what I'm doing, Trevor.
All right.
I'm literally doing that. Thank you. I wasted all my missiles on the icicles because I thought you needed super missiles as opposed to missiles, and I couldn't get my I couldn't get to the save point because I didn't knock down that icicle, so I lost all my progress and I decided I didn't want to play anymore. So that save file was over with, and I didn't play again for like a couple years. So I picked up the game again one day, and I got all the way to the ice beam in like a day. It was like really short, and I was surprised at how easy it was. And then
easy when you know what you're doing, eh?
Yeah, and then I got down to the caves, and of course I got the I caught the gravity suit, and then I went down through the space pirate ship with the great music. And then I got to Phazon Mines, and I saved at the first save point, and I turned off the game. Years later, okay, this time for real, I'm gonna beat Metroid Prime. So I get all the way to the Phazon Mines yet again. I decide don't turn the game off, keep playing, and then I got the power bombs, and then I got the gravity, not the gravity, the grapple beam.
Gravity hammer.
Yeah, and then I got the grapple beam, and then I didn't remember where to go from there, so I turned the game off after a save point and never turned it on again. Like
a true gamer would.
Years later, I played through the game again. I got to Phazon Mines, remembered how much I hate the Phazon Mines, got to the first save point, and turned the game off. And I never played that save file again. I played probably 2 more times of this, and then I finally decided, alright, that's it. And I actually beat the game for the first time. I finally got it. I'm pretty sure the next weapon you got
I
was
love Metroid Prime. Like the final boss of Metroid Prime is so cool.
Yeah, it's
really
cool.
satisfying, especially when you're more confident. You have all the missile expansions and stuff. Like doing stuff like using the wave beam alternate fire to like latch onto its eyes and like explode it, or hitting it in the mouth with like an ice missile is so satisfying in that video game.
Yeah, it's so good. Anyways, so I finished the game eventually, and of course I played through one more time for 100%, and I haven't played it since. But here's the problem I have with Metroid Prime, and why it's not my favorite, or sorry, why it's not the best, is because I never liked the Chozo Ruins. Okay.
Okay.
They're like, I don't know what you think about the Chozo Ruins, but they're
fine.
They're boring. I don't like the poison water. It's just like, I can do it because I like the game, but I just every time I get to the Chozo Ruins, I'm like, all right, let's get this over with. But Phendrana is, for me, the best part of the game. Thankfully, it's probably the longest part of the game too. But I think we would both agree that the Phazon Mines just suck. I think you have the same story where you get to that first save point and you're just like, I don't want to play anymore in the Phazon Mines.
Sorry, I don't mean to. Yeah, I got a little annoyed with that too. I had to figure out what the darts were going to do to the mummy, because I was like, what's the gimmick with this mummy escape sequence? And I knew it was darts. I just didn't understand how the darts were going to affect. Can't I just run? Is there anything stopping me from just being like, let's go? Is he gonna die? No, he's fine. He's not looking so hot though.
He's okay. He's just a flesh wound.
He's not doing so hot.
Anyway, so what do you think? Like, yeah, when you get, I remember you told me the same story. You get to the Phazon Mines, you get to that first save point, and you're just like turn the game off, and you don't typically come back to it.
Oh, buddy, sorry. I don't love the Phazon Mines. I haven't played Metroid Prime in a very long time, obviously. I've played more Symphony of the Night than I've played Metroid Prime, to give you an idea of my like timing.
Yeah,
like what I was.
It also doesn't help that Metroid Prime is a much longer game than like Super. So like I've beaten Super like 10 times, but Super is like I can finish it in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Whereas Prime is like, even like knowing exactly where to go and what to do, it probably still would take me like 6-7 hours.
Yeah. He died.
Well, go get another one.
Go get another one. Just go to Walmart.
Yeah. So. That's just how Prime is, but like, and that's the problem I have with Prime. So I actually thought about it. Prime really only has 3 areas. If you think about it.
The darts. That's awesome.
He looks like the guys from Perfect Dark after like when you like you could put a crate in front of the door.
Yeah.
And the weapon testing like the shooting range.
Yeah.
And you could like shoot crossbow darts and throw knives into all to the guys, but they won't die.
Yeah.
So you can literally just keep tucking knives and crossbows into them. And like once you leave, you'll look at them and there's like 17 like they're just like covered in blood and like darts and knives, and you're like, how you feeling? Oh, good? Yeah? Okay? And he's just like, because they're poison knives too, right? And I think the crossbow darts are tranquilizers.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny.
Listen, he's doing fine. Look at my boy. Look at what they did to my boy.
Anyways, so for Prime, like, yeah, like, I've thought about it. There's only 3 areas in that game. Chozo Ruins, Vendrana Drifts, and the Phazon Mines. And I know you're gonna be like, what about the others?
Magmore Caverns.
But Magmore Caverns is not really an area. It's a transition. It's like a long linear corridor.
But there's stuff to do in Magmore.
There is, but it's not really an area, Trevor. There's like 3 power-ups in it. Talon Overworld's the same way. Like, think about it. When you start the game and you land in Talon Overworld...
I've always thought Talon Over... I'm not going to argue that with you. I've always thought Talon Overworld kind of functions as like an in-between section.
So does Magmore, but like, think about it. The second you get into Talon Overworld, what's the first thing you do? Leave and go to Chozo.
Yeah.
And once you're done with Chozo, like, you're done with Chozo. Sure, you come back for the Ice Beam, but you're done Chozo, right? And then you go for Magmore. The first thing you do in Magmore, go to the Pandrana Drifts.
Yep.
And then once you're done with the Pandrana Drifts, it's like, what's next? Well, you leave, go get like the 2 power-ups you need in the rest of the world, and then you come back, get the gravity suit, and then go to the Phazon Mines.
Odd thought. What was the last Castlevania game that came out?
Probably Lords of Shadow 2.
Really?
Oh, actually, no, that mobile game, if you want to count that.
No, I don't. But, really?
Okay, I'm probably wrong. I don't know. I don't follow it. I just know Castlevania hasn't had a new game in like years.
I don't think it felt like it hasn't felt like that because there are so many Metroidvanias. But also, let's be clear, there's also an absolute metric butt ton of
Who's the man?
sorry, I got distracted whenever Tack talks. There's a metric butt ton of like spiritual successors to that series. Like you can literally play I saw the Yorble and I just walked in. You can play things like what is that game? Bloodstained. Bloodstained has both. Like you can play Bloodstained whatever the hell the
I wish it was more like Rondo and less like the original Castlevania. Even though I like the original Castlevania.
I don't have need to do.
Yo, the original Castlevania is actually not that hard. It's very, very, very.
It's funny.
Nice
I always
to the player.
remember what game I always remember being crazy hard. Is Castlevania 4.
Castlevania 4 is probably actually easier than the original Castlevania.
I'm sure it is, and I'm not gonna argue that with you. But I remember it being like insanely hard.
It's
like I remember. As
we should do that. We should do Castlevania 1 one day with you because I think you'll be shocked at how like simple it is. I know you
can
played
abuse,
it for the first time.
I know you can abuse the final bosses with like the cross. Like it's really
the final like the
or is it the holy water? I think it's
you get holy water for that boss. Yeah, Castlevania 1 is like I played it for the first time in my life, and I literally got to Dracula in like an hour. And I couldn't beat him, so I turned it off. But like, and then I picked it up again, and I got to him again in an hour. And then Dracula was pretty hard, but I also didn't know how to beat him. I also had lag on my TV.
What do you mean you don't know how to beat him? It's like the same.
I didn't know you had to hit the second floor right in the head. I thought you just hit him.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't doing enough damage to him. And once I figured that out, I beat him first try. But the first form of Dracula is harder for me because the lag on the TV makes it so he appears before you could react to him.
I will tell you right now.
So I had a hard time like dodging his attacks because I had to anticipate as opposed to react.
You know something I really appreciate about not Castlevania. Yes, also Castlevania, but in the new Super Smash Bros, I really appreciate that they've included boss fights that are not. Because okay, so Subspace Emissary.
They had a lot of cool boss fights.
Yeah, say what you will about Subspace Emissary. I forgot that these things.
Subspace Emissary is still the best adventure mode.
So hold on. Say what you will about Subspace Emissary. It did introduce something that I really appreciate in Super Smash Bros, which is bosses with health bars that aren't Master Hand. Okay, I really appreciate that. It was super cool for me to be like, technically, I guess Giga Bowser exists, but I don't really count him because you have to fight him like an actual fighter, you know? He's not like a boss. He is a boss, but he's not like that kind of boss. So you have to forgive me, guys, because the mechanics on these ropes are, as you can tell, very bizarre.
Makes you wish you were playing Wind Waker's ropes.
Well, so here's the thing.
You probably
so
don't remember.
what's going on is wherever the camera is facing is where Tack will jump, but I don't remember how to keep momentum. So if I jump on this rope, I have to keep my camera in a particular spot, but I don't know how to make him swing. Like, I know how to... If I press B, will he swing? There it is. Okay. So now I have to keep my camera. I can't rotate my camera.
That's how physics work. When you go like this, you're like...
Yeah, he literally doesn't carry momentum forward. He, like, hops. I mentioned this before in the video, too. Heaven help us if they make me do this with, like, something tense going on. Right? Okay, so you see how my rope is kind of like doing this? As I've learned, it doesn't matter what direction Tack is. It's based on what direction my camera is. What's your problem? What are you looking at? Yeah, your mom.
Anyways, yeah, so Castlevania 1 is actually really nice to you because they give you unlimited continues and it starts you off at the beginning of the level. And when you get to Dracula, you can literally unlimitedly fight Dracula. Like the game just puts you at Dracula even if you game over. They want you to finish that game. Castlevania 3 is the one where they screw you over, and only the Western version. Japanese version is still nice to you. They gimped us for our version because we allowed game rentals, and they did not like that.
Dude, this guy's missing his head.
It's better than Adventures of Bayou Billy, where they just decided to make the game bad.
What the hell? Sorry, I've got his head, eh?
Yeah, toss it on there. It's a bomb. Is that a bomb? It looks like a bomb. There's like a wick on it.
I think
look at it.
I think what he does is he chases his head wherever I throw it. So I have to lure him with his head. And I gotta put him somewhere. Well, how do I get his body up? If I put his body... Oh, I see. So
Can you throw it up?
So if I put it here, can I just put it down? And then I just do this, I guess? Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot.
Put the head up top. Put the head up top.
Yeah. I have to do it here. While his body is in that position.
Anyway, so back to Metroid. So yeah, that's my problem with Metroid Prime is I think about it, and I actually don't like 2 of the 3 areas in that game, the major areas.
Wow.
Okay, Chosen Ruins is okay. It's just kind of a little boring for me. Thankfully, Vendrana is probably the longest part of the game, which is my favorite. So that's good. It's still a good game outside of that.
Favorite part of Metroid 2?
It's kind of like how
Metroid Prime 2.
I don't remember. I didn't really like a lot of it. Torvus Bog, maybe.
Torvus Bog?
Only because it's pretty. The rest of the game is kind of disgusting looking, except for like... I know the Skykeep Sanctuary is there, but I hated the Skykeep Sanctuaries. The enemies in that area were awful. But outside of that, yeah, the areas of Metroid Prime are... Like, the game is still really fun outside of that. Now, going into Super, the reason why...
His body fall. Where's his body? Where the hell is his body?
It's right there. It's in the dark.
Goodness. I couldn't see it, and I was like, they did not respawn him.
Watch out, he's coughing.
Yeah, we got that COVID moment.
Anyways, so Super Metroid, the reason why Super Metroid's so replayable is not only is it shorter, but like the way the areas are designed in that game is just perfect. So the only part of Super Metroid that I don't like is Meridia. And the only reason I don't like Meridia isn't because it's a water level, because honestly that doesn't matter when you have the gravity suit.
Yeah, it does. Makes no difference.
It's because of the way they designed that level. Not only do you require essentially the grapple beam, which sucks in that game by the way, but you also have that big long loop that you have to go through like twice.
Yeah.
With all the sand, and the sand is insanely frustrating.
Yeah.
Like they really need to tone that sand down. But the reason why Meridia is fine, I don't stop playing there because the reason why is like you start Super Metroid and you have, you know, after you finish the early bits of criteria, you're like Brinstar, and Brinstar is awesome.
Yeah.
And then you have Norfair, and even Norfair is awesome. And then after you're done Norfair, it's like, okay, now the wrecked ship. And now you do Meridia, which sucks, but you're pretty far into the game. But Meridia isn't the final area. So once you finish Meridia, you have Ridley's hideout, which is an awesome area, and then you finish the game, and the game's like leaves you this like high feeling, you know, you're like, oh yeah, that was awesome.
Oh,
and then you want to do it.
Meta Ridley you're talking about?
Yeah, and then you want to do it again. You're like, the first thing you want to do is you're like, I want to play that. Kill him, true. I want to play that again. And the best part is, is you don't have to worry about Meridia for a while.
Let me ask you a follow-up
And it's
question.
not the final part of the game, so you don't have your final thoughts on the game isn't negative.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
Were you like me and you got to the part of Metroid Prime when they were like, congratulations on beating Meta Ridley? Now would you like to go find all the artifacts? And you were like, no, thank you.
You have to get the artifacts to
I
fight
know.
Ridley.
I didn't fight. Oh, Ridley, right? Yeah, because that's
You can't fight Ridley till you get the
Yeah,
artifacts.
I'm saying right when they got to that part where they're like, go find.
I
the
don't know. The
artifacts.
guy who did it on stream was able to find all the artifacts with no help.
Yeah, guess what, dude? It's easy if you know what you're getting into. But young me was like much worse at video games, and he was like, I do not have the time for this. I just
Yeah,
wanna
I used
fight
a guide
boss
for it too,
fights."
but like.
And then
I mean,
it's
okay,
worse.
listen. At
It's
least,
worse
at least in
Metroid
Prime,
Prime 2.
Yeah, at least in Prime, when you go and look at it, they're like, it's in Prandrana's Edge. So you look for that room name, and it's literally in that room.
Yeah.
Whereas in Barab 2, they're like, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. In the darkness, you will see. And you're like,
I really, really want to.
yay, walk around in the dark with looking for invisible keys at the... Dude, there's one in the middle of that ginormous lake, and it's like
Yeah.
tiny and like in the back corner.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the heck?
There's that one room.
The guy told me it was in that room, and I still had to spend like 30 minutes in that room looking
You're
for
talking
it.
about the one where you have to submerge yourself and do all
Yeah.
that craziness?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
one I spent 30 minutes on when I knew it was in that room. If I
There's
didn't
that
know
one
it
where
was
you
there,
have to go in with the dark suit, or the light suit, because you can't survive in it with
yeah, that's
everything
the one I'm
else.
talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So that's all of them. I finished all of the mummy stuff.
Oh, I don't think you can get the dark keys until you're done either.
No, you can't. Wait, can
Whereas-
I put this guy's head down? I don't want it anymore.
Because in Prime 1, you can get the artifacts on the way if you know where they are.
Yeah.
Like, if you just know they're there, you,
You
can
just
just
have
be
to.
like,
Yeah.
you just
it's
have
there.
to get it. Yeah. Yeah, that sucked. Yeah, no, that was another
I've
problem.
heard
Wait.
of this place. This is the spirit world. There's some way for you to enter spirit form, but we'll have to figure it out as we go.
Yeah, okay, go figure it out, Trevor. But that's what makes Super. That makes
Yeah, you do
Super so
that.
good for me is that there's one negative area, and the area is far enough in the game, but not too far to where like you just want to keep playing and playing and playing. So that's why I will replay Super way more than Prime, even though I like
Also,
Prime
you can
more.
play. You can play Super in like an hour.
Yeah, Super is so good.
Wait a sec. Hold
If we
on.
follow it, it might help us on our journey.
So let's talk about
My
the.
gosh.
Let's talk about the others. So you can start, Trevor. What do you think about Zero Mission? It's a remake of Metroid 1.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be 3 weeks of Metroid.
What's wrong with that?
Boom, shakalaka.
Hold on. Let me work this bad boy out. I'm working this out.
Listen, man.
What is happening? What do you want from me?
Folks, you're a nurgle. Try to take it easy. I'm sure it'll wear off. Well, this looks like the place to enter spirit form, but it doesn't seem to be
You
working.
need to be Nurble.
There must be some way to activate it.
Or is that a bad thing?
I don't know. That the thing disappeared.
Is
after
it like a
turning
Link to the
normal.
Past where they turn you into a rabbit?
What? Look out for what?
Hey!
Whoa.
Okay, those things are bad.
Every skull spirit attacks the nearest creature.
Oh, okay, so you have to like do something. Oh, you gotta use that guy. Oh, wait, or not.
I don't know, man. I don't even know if these are obstacles. What's happening?
Is that the? Oh, is powering up the portal?
By breaking a jar?
Yeah, man.
Okay, all right. We're working.
Those buildings when you're in spirit mode, they might be the key to finding our way to Lock Spirit.
Okay, all right. Oh, we're looking for Warrior Lock Spirit. Okay. So I hit this.
Oh, so before I get into Zero Mission, so this is gonna sound interesting. I almost feel like
Sorry.
Super almost feels like a remake of Metroid 1 on its own too. It's not.
I will tell you the
It's
most
not,
interesting
but
game.
it kind
okay.
of feels like it.
You want my opinion? The most interesting game in the stories lore-wise is
Metroid 2.
Fusion.
Nah.
Fusion. No,
Fusion's
explain.
out.
Fusion. Let me explain.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right, you're right.
Fusion. I like how I just shouted Fusion at you until you agreed with me.
No, I mean,
No,
I
I'll
thought
explain.
about it, and you're like, you're right.
Shit.
But I think Metroid 2 leading into Fusion is
Okay,
together more interesting.
Let me explain. Metroid Fusion does something that a lot of video games don't have the balls to do, and it's essentially that they elaborate on their own lore without shitting on the old lore. It's something that Aliens has a hard time doing. You watch an Aliens movie, and the original Ridley Scott like stuff is really interesting, and then they try to like get deeper with themselves, and you end up
It
in
looks to me like that orangutan only exists in spirit form.
Why?
he's a dead orangutan. He's a ghost orangutan. Aren't you a ghost orangutan? You a ghost orangutan looking. Sorry. Okay.
What's
so
the point of this gimmick?
I don't understand.
It
what's
doesn't
even-
make any
We're looking
sense.
for Warrior Lock's soul. All right, we're in the soul world. That's what's happening. I kind of dig it actually. I think it's kind of a neat mechanic for a platformer.
Okay, yeah, but the
Wait,
oregano.
hold on.
For the party, right? If you can bring like 3 of them to me, I might be able to help you out. Do it!
Literally told me to go find a party hats to help me get
Those are
up.
expensive. They cost millions of dollars.
Okay, so
Literally.
in the
RuneScape.
Ridley Scott Aliens movies, I probably screwed up that name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. In these movies, you have all this
Ridley
really,
Scott is what you said, I think.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So it's hard to play. I swear, it's really hard to play and talk. That's why it's good to have a co-host. But okay, so you end up with these. What the shit is this?
Amazing. You just found the Juju compass spell. Now you can find special hidden items.
Use it. It's the X-ray scope.
Oh, dude, it's using my feathers.
All right, so yeah, talk about Ridley Scott, Trevor.
Shut up. So okay. So I will say in the Aliens franchise you have this really interesting lore, and then they try to get too deep with it, or they try to get too safe with it. Sometimes you have things that come out and no one's willing to elaborate. And you have like people who aren't afraid to get weird with their own lore, like with the property, and you end up with stuff like what's that one really neat? There's that one really neat video game. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's a Metroidvania Aliens video game. I have it.
Oh, Aliens, it's on the DS. I watched a playthrough of that game.
I have it. Like, I bought it on my birthday, I think. Like, it's something I bought on my birthday.
The boss fights in that game when I watched the playthrough
really
are
cool.
terrible.
No, they're cool.
They're garbage. I'm
They're
gonna
not
warn
the-
you.
they're not
Have you
the
played it?
nicest.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I owned it. I finished it.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're not, okay, like, fundamentally, my one concern, or foible with
They
the
look
game,
cool, Trevor, but they're terrible to actually fight.
Okay.
You probably just don't remember.
They're not. You always lose at least one of your soldiers per boss fight, and I remember that, which isn't super good. It's got a really cool mechanic though, and I like this idea that soldiers are capable of death, and permadeath is built into the mechanic of the game, and I think that's really neat. I think the game is kind of a really nifty, neat idea. It might not be like ideal, and it might not be the perfect video game, but
No, it's
okay. What I'm
it's a
trying to
good
get
game.
at though, let me just get to where I'm going with this. So my point is, you have a video game like this, and it gets weird with the franchise. You have, like, aliens, like, what happens when a facehugger gets a gorilla, for instance. That's like a boss in the game, you know? Let's see what a Promethean looks like if it actually gave off a xenomorph body. Okay, I'm just giving examples here, okay? And Metroid Fusion is that to the Metroid universe, where they introduce this whole new, interesting, threat to the galaxy, because Metroid has this problem for a period of time, and it might not be a problem for most people, but it's a problem to me, where they introduce Phazon, Metroids, and Space Pirates, okay? That's kind of it. And then they're like, yeah, so we need to talk about the Space Pirates. There's a whole game based on, like, Space Pirates and Phazon, and they don't elaborate or do anything new. Introduce the virus, what is it called? What's the virus called? X-Parasite?
Yeah.
Yeah, X-Parasite.
It's not really a virus.
It's not. I called it a virus. It's not correct.
It's clearly called X-Parasite.
Like I said, it's
It's
hard
like
to,
the Flood. They're not parasites.
it's hard to
they're-
play
they're
a talk.
parasite.
Yeah. So you introduce this thing, and what's cool about the X-Parasites is that in lore, they're really neat because they fit so snugly in lore. They what's their deal? They siphon off energy from living creatures, and the Metroids eat them, right? What's their deal? I can't quite remember.
X-Parasites basically take over other corpses, and then they like... I don't remember quite, but basically they're just like stronger, more intelligent versions, and they could like grow.
Yeah.
They're basically kind of like a lesser Flood.
Yeah.
But, and the Chozo were terrified of them. Sorry, very, very hard spoilers, okay, guys?
That's okay. So hang on,
For
guys.
Fusion.
Yeah.
Metroid 2's remake actually goes deep into this
Yeah,
stuff, by
yeah,
the way.
they do.
And basically, the Chozo created the Metroids
Yeah.
to basically keep the X-Parasites like locked down on their like planet.
They're basically energy siphons
so
that
Metroids-
handle the parasite.
They basically
Yeah.
just killed. They're basically built just to kill X-Parasites.
Yeah.
And not to wipe them out, but just to like keep
them on like balance.
Unfortunately, so Metroids are not exactly intelligent. They're just strong.
Yeah.
And X-Parasites can't deal with them. So basically, Metroids are their ultimate like foe.
Yeah.
Problem is that in Metroid 2, you're like, I'm gonna go wipe out the Metroids,
Yeah.
and you do, and now the X-Parasites are like,
Well, we're not restrained
Woohoo!
anymore. Yeah, it's like X-Parasites are like, you did what? And then they're free, yeah.
I found
think-
that
okay.
really sick at the end of Fusion, by the way, when like the X-Parasites in Samus's suit like
Yeah.
finds like a grown Metroid and is
Yeah.
like flipping shit,
Yeah, it
and this
cannot
Metroid
handle
is
it.
like
Yeah.
dunking this X-Parasite.
Because it's literally the counter, you know,
Yeah.
like it's what it's made for. I think that is incredible, and I think lore-wise, to expand your lore like this is grossly. I think it's so intelligent. I think it's so intelligent to move your lore forward with new lore. But so many video games are afraid to do it. It's kind of think about Super Mario Brothers, right? Like occasionally we get a new character.
Dude, there's no lore in Super Mario Brothers.
There is lore. in
A
Super
little
Mario.
bit, but
was
like
what
I
are
don't
you
think that's
talking
really
about?
a thing for the attention.
I'm
Metroid
just saying
is much more
sometimes you
story-based.
advance your story, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you introduce characters.
That's what
like
I actually like about
Rosalina
Zelda
or
too.
Daisy.
Is the
But-
timeline? The like one game has a
But
consequence
that's
for
my
the
point.
other.
Is yeah, that's my point. Like
Yeah.
it's really cool to see a game like Metroid move forward with its lore and its
Yeah.
plot. Okay, anyway, we got to stop this video. Join us next time. We're going to hit up the Spirit Realm. We're going to try to finish it. I just realized that skeleton is right there. And we will see you in the next one for, you know, whatever
Metroid.
else. More, I guess. All right.
I'm not done.
All right, later, y'all.
Bye. Let me get some coffee.
You should make me some, too.